Hi, I'm David,
Hi, I'm Yelena.
and welcome to our tutorial on modifications for Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward bow, also known as Chakrasana in other traditions, but we don't care about that. Okay, so we're going to talk about if you're having trouble getting into the position, what you can do, to at home or whatever to get up in it. But before we do that, do you like us? Do you like our tutorials? Please let us know in the comments section below, or
Also, let us know in comment section what else we can do a tutorial on. Make sure you subscribe to our channel because we're putting videos out on regular basis, and give us a like.
yeah, and tell all your friends. Okay, so it's really common actually not to be able to get up in Urdhva Dhanurasana because it's super challenging. It's a difficult position, and then like shoulder strength, shoulder flexibility will all kind of play a role here. So if anything's going on at all in the shoulders, then it can be very challenging. We'll do another tutorial down the road about getting into Urdhva Dhanurasana fully and our ideal sort of shoulder positioning. But today we want to just talk about making it a bit more accessible.
I remember when I became a teacher, this pose was always hard for me. It still is hard for me. It's something that I've just accepted that it's always going to be a lot of effort and a lot of surrender. But once I became a teacher and I started working in the room, it really became obvious to me that it's not just about flexibility, which is what we assume first when we see a pose like this, because it's a deep back bend, but it is also sometimes strength that limits people from being able to push up. Yeah. And it was just a really big realization in the room that both of those will have an impact on your ability to do this.
Okay, well, let's just do a baby back bend first. This isn't really part of the Ashtanga canon, but if you're working on opening up the body, then on the front line of the body for back bends, sometimes it can be good to practice bridge. So a bridge would be like this. You would lie back with your heels more or less under your knees, and your feet are a little bit wider than your hips, okay? And then your arms are beside you, just lying on the floor beside. And then you're going to use your legs, pressing down through the feet, lift the hips up in the air. What you'll find here is naturally, sort of the easiest way to do this is to squeeze your bum and to tuck your tail, tailbone, coccyx this way towards me. So it's fine here because it's not a very deep back bend and stuff, no problem. And this is actually too, it can be a good way to strengthen your glutes if you want to do that. But what we want to do eventually is refine this action a little bit by coming into an anterior tilt first. So an anterior tilt would be Yelena rolling towards her sits bones, and you can see under her lower back a little bit of space opens up, space for maybe like a small family of squirrels. And then she's going to hold that shape in the lower back, the arch and the anterior tilt, and then use more leg, less glute, more leg to lift up. It's tricky to do, but you'll see in a second why this is good if you're having trouble lifting all the way up. So what we're doing, is teaching the legs to be strong and kind of do the majority of the work of hip extension here. And then as Yelena pushes through the legs more, she can press the weight back so the chest will come more towards her chin, and that kind of deepens the extension through the rest of the spine. So this is a nice way to prep the body and to kind of teach yourself the work in the legs. There's variations that you can do in this pose. You can touch your heels with your hands. What we don't like to see too much is people catching their ankles like this. It's fine too, but as a way of working, it's not ideal in the knee. For some people, this will be a problem. You can see how far back the foot is behind the knee. Probably depends on how long your arms are, right? Yelena's got particularly short arms.
I do.
So she has to bring her heels way back to catch them. And it just doesn't set you up super well. So what I use as a cue for myself is fingertips touching the heels. I like that. And then you could keep the fingertips there, or you could interlock your hands under you when you lift. And it's a different stretch, you know. It just helps you kind of get the scapula to start to retract together, and you get a little bit more opening across the shoulders. But this isn't actually the direction that we're going into as we go deeper, right? Because here, your shoulders are in flexion, extension. They're under you and behind you. But for Urdhva Dhanurasana, we have to go the other way. We're going to bring the arms up and over so the shoulders will be in flexion. And this is usually what makes it really difficult. So one of the things that I wanted to mention about setting up with the arms in flexion now is that this anterior tilt will help you get the arms into the right position. When you anterior tilt like this, you're angling your arms back down towards the floor. When you posterior tilt like that, then you're actually pulling your hands away from the floor. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So anterior tilt, I discovered this for myself because my shoulders are a bit tight. So it was just a trick I started to do. I would come into a deep arch first before I lift, and then get my hands into position. And then before I even lift here, I'm going to start to reach back through the elbows. So I'm pressing into the hands and reaching the elbows back and away. And then from there, eventually, I would lift up. You can try. But if you're watching this video, maybe you have tried and you can't get up still, right? So that happens sometimes. So we've got some tricks for you.
So if you're having a hard time lifting up, there's few things that you can do. If there's a friend or a partner or someone that lives with you, you can ask them to borrow their ankles to help you find the lift all the way up, or somewhere towards all the way up. So it would look something like this. So David's gonna set up exactly the same way that we set up just a few seconds ago when I was demonstrating it. So we're gonna make sure that the heels and fingertips on our hands kind of touch, and that we're not pulling too much towards our bum. And then I'm gonna come and stand somewhere around David's ears. And then David's gonna reach back with his hands and catch my ankles. And so this allows David now to not feel so much resistance when he tries to put his palms flat on the floor. And then I can even offer a little bit more support by just making sure that David doesn't let his elbows splay out to the side, because that's not a good place to work from. It's not good for your shoulder joint. And also there's nothing to push into. You lose all the strength. So elbows come up, and I can even come and help by holding David's elbows, and then he's gonna try and lift and come on top of his head. And if that feels okay, he's pushing down into my ankles. It does not hurt at all. There's nothing. He can try and come all the way up. And then that will help him work on opening the shoulders, work on finding the strength, and over time be able to do this on his own. And then same thing, he's gonna come mindfully all the way down, making sure that the elbows point towards my legs, towards the back of the room. So what are you gonna do if you don't have anyone at home? Well, you can use a mat. If you have an extra mat lying around, you can do the same thing. So you're gonna put the mat just above your head, or so.
Maybe with the mat against the wall, though.
Or mat against the wall.
So that it doesn't roll away.
That's true. But here, it's a sticky mat on sticky mat, so it should be okay.
Life form, of course.
And so, again, same thing. Notice how his hands or his wrists are now in the same position as when they were holding my ankles. And before David lifts, he's gonna go through the whole setup again. So we always go through this. So he's gonna arch his lower back. He's gonna bring the hands over his head. He's gonna make sure that the elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling. And before he even lifts, he's gonna start pushing down so that the elbows start kind of reaching back. You can think of it that way. And then from here, he can go nice and slow. First, just come on top of the head. And if that feels okay, you can always readjust the hands a little bit. And again, making sure that the elbows stay in this direction. He can try and lift to whatever he can. Once he's lifted, and especially if the arms are straight, then the work becomes about shifting more and more of your weight into your arms to find that opening in the thoracic spine here. And it also helps stretch out the shoulder joint. Another option is to maybe find some sturdy boxes that you have lying around, or books. Books are great because as you get better at it, you can take the number of books you have and then same thing. Position them where it feels right for you. It can go against the wall too. And then once more, we come on top of the head, arching our back first, and then lifting all the way up, paying attention to our elbows, and then again using the strength of our legs to gently shift the weight in the direction of your shoulders. So more and more weight coming into the hands. And then you breathe here for 5 breaths, and then if it feels okay, you come down on top of your head, and then in Ashtanga we would repeat this 2 more times, so 3 times in total. Good job.
Thank you.
Great. So in our studio where we teach, we always offer our ankles to our students, but we know that a lot of times you're at home and you don't have a teacher or you're practicing alone. So again, these are great ways to modify, but still find work and work towards one day eventually being able to lift up on your own.
Yeah. And check out our video on arm positioning, how to work with the arms, arm rotation, on over the shoulder, shoulder flexion, the external rotation and the scapular elevation as well, because there's a lot of information there that can help you with this pose. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful for you. Thanks so much for joining us. Remember, tell us if you liked it. If you didn't like it, it's okay, you don't have to say anything.
You don't have to tell us.
And make sure to subscribe because we're putting these out every week. And yeah, tell all your friends. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.